I would like to welcome everyone to the September 21st, 2015 meeting of the Gaston County Board of Education. My name is Kenny Lutz. I'm the chair of the board, and to my left is Jeff Ramsey, vice chair. I also would like for the rest of the board members to introduce themselves, starting to my right.
Chris Howe, South Point Township.
Mark Upchurch, Cherryville Township.
Dot Guthrie, Gastonia Township.
Kevin Collier, River Bend Township.
Dot Cherry, at-large member.
Thank you. On behalf of the board, I would like to welcome everyone here to this evening. At this time, I would like to turn it over to Mr. Booker for the prayer and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Chairman Lutz. Please join me in prayer. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for guiding us and leading us each day. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to shepherd and take care of the responsibilities of Gaston County Schools. Be with us this evening and each day as we work towards the good for our students. Grant us the knowledge and support to meet the needs of our community and all those who depend on Gaston County Schools. Continue to give us everything we need to work in your will and to accomplish your works. Amen. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our next order of business would be to adopt the agenda. You have the proposed agenda in front of you. Do I hear a motion for the adoption of the agenda? And I will need this in the form of a motion.
I make a motion that we adopt the agenda.
I have a motion from Mr. Upchurch for the adoption of the agenda. Do I have a second? I have a second from Ms. Cherry. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Can everybody raise their hands one more time? All in favor? Thank you. All right, the next item is good news, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Booker because we have an abundance of good news tonight.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I want to start by recognizing an outstanding business partner. We have with us tonight 3 individuals from Bimbo Bakeries, and I'd like to ask them to come forward, please. Sheila Youngblood, who works in Human Resources, Moses Chavez, who is the plant manager, and then the plant engineer, Todd Green. Also, Kurt Hovis and Donna Lutz are with us tonight. Many of you may have seen in the paper over the weekend a discussion about this project. Bimbo Bakeries supports their community with good neighbor projects, and they began back in the spring canvassing their neighborhood to look for opportunities to work in the community. They saw the property at Warlick School and met with the Warlick staff and the town of Ranlow and began discussions of what it could be. And so we officially opened the disc golf course last week with the ribbon cutting ceremonies. But it wasn't just them. They enlisted several community partners, and they put sweat equity as well as their finance resources behind it. So we wanted to pause tonight and thank them for what they have done. And the ceremony, the manager shared that we wanted to show these students that we care about them and to invest in them. And I think that's as important as the actual thing that we have out there to use every day, is that they're saying we're a part of this community and we believe in your students. So I thank you for being with us tonight, Ms. Chair.
I had the pleasure of scooting out there. It was a gorgeous day, and it's like a park. So, and it's open to the community, so I encourage everybody to go out there. We tried to get Mr. Booker to play the course, but he wouldn't do it. But it is a beautiful place, and they shared with us that they had some visitors while they were cleaning up the area, and from what I understand, and I kind of remember it was a daunting task, but they took it in stride, and a little snake stayed with them the whole time, but as they indicated, it turned into a python by the time they finished the project. But it is absolutely gorgeous out there, and I hope it's going to be used a lot by our students and by our community. So we can't thank you enough, and we look forward to your next project. So please thank your corporate headquarters, and hope that we take good care of it, and it'll be used for many, many years. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That's exciting. Thank you so much. A little bit of skill.
Next, members of the board, we are fortunate to have a great group of students here with us tonight. Michael Caulfield, Sarah Jane Hebner, Alex Matthew, Morgan Poteet, and Leah Susnick. You all mind coming forward? These students are members of the Future Business Leaders of America chapter at Highland School of Technology. This chapter of the Future Business Leaders of America is not only an award-winning chapter in the state of North Carolina, but also on the national level. For the third year in a row, Highlands chapter has earned a national award for excellence. You did hear me say for the third year in a row. Okay. The students and their advisors have traveled to the national conference in Chicago this past summer, and they received the Hollis and Kitty Guy Gold Seal Chapter Award of Merit. This award recognizes chapters that have shown excellence in student involvement, community service, and achievement at district, state, and national competitions. Not only did Highlands' team earn the National Chapter Award, but they also had 12 students who earned their way to the national conference by winning first, second, or third place awards at the North Carolina FBLA conference. These accomplishments are outstanding, and we're very proud of everything these students have done. We also want to thank Rachel Martin, who is the FBLA advisor and the coordinator of the Business, Legal, and IT Academy at Highland. She spent a lot of time working with these students, and behind everyone's success, we know, is a great mentor. We also want to recognize Ms. McLean and how much she appreciates the work that is done by these students under Ms. Martin's guidance. So congratulations to all of you. Mr. Dedman?
It's very much my honor. I appreciate to present you all with this. I thought it was like 10 years in a row. There might be a misprint that you all missed one year. But, you know, that is a phenomenal achievement, and you all have done a marvelous job. Congratulations to each and every one of you. I'm very, very proud of all you do and everything that you do. Ms. McLean, I'm going to let you have, no, I'm giving this to Ms. Martin. The one that does the work should have it. But congratulations very much. Very proud of you.
If you could hold it, please. There you go. This way, smile. And one more. Thank you.
Y'all walk through.
Well, members of the board, now we get to recognize a group that usually will fight recognition because they're so worried about making sure everybody else gets credit for the great things that go on in our district. But it is my pleasure to recognize our communications department. This summer, we were notified that Gaston County Schools won not one, but 2 National Golden Achievement Awards from the National School Public Relations Award. Now, what's important to note about getting 2 of these awards is there were only 84 of them given across the nation. And we received these awards for 2 of our programs, the Kia Outstanding Educator Awards and the Community Talks with the Superintendent meetings were both recognized for excellence in school communication, marketing, and public relations. In addition to being 2 of 84, there were only 3 other districts in North Carolina to receive awards. So we're very proud of these communications, but mostly we're proud of the folks who are behind all that hard work. We also recognized them earlier this year when they received 8 state Blue Ribbon Awards. So now we've moved out of the state and gone to the nationals. So I would like to recognize Mr. Higgins, Sean Cochran, Joy LaPrade, and Tom's back there keeping us on TV. Is he going to come out with us? So, but we appreciate what you do, and I know Mr. Collier wanted to say some more. Was it?
I'll give Tom. Okay. You've made our county proud. I have to tell you a story. I was up in Raleigh, and I was talking to some other board members from other counties, and they were asking, who does y'all's website? Who does your PR? It's so good. I said, all I can do is just look and pay attention. I said, but if you copy anything, you better call and make sure you're not having any infringements. But Todd, and for the people that are watching, the voice of Gaston County now is Mr. Todd Higgins. When we say there's a delay or school is closed, the most pleasant voice that a lot of the children like to hear, this is Mr. Higgins. And Tom, you're probably the senior member of this crew?
We don't talk about it.
Okay. Anyway, we're so proud of you. 2 awards. I mean, this is just incredible. In the state of North Carolina, this is just quite a recognition. And on behalf of the board, I'm going to handle to both ends because this will probably make the best picture. Is that right? Okay. You guys are the experts.
All right, I'm gonna look at this.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes the formal good news. I'll tell you that these classroom moments you're going to see are additional good news, but that's our formal presentation.
All right, thank you, Mr. Booker. I do not think we have anybody signed up for public expression tonight. So we'll move on down to the next item will be the approval and correction of our minutes for the August 17th meeting. I think everyone should have those and have read them, and I will need that in the form of a motion also. Mr. Howes made the motion. I have a second from Mr. Collier. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor? It is unanimous. Thank you very much. The next couple items are going to be started out with Mr. Cook. I would like to ask him to come up. We're having the elementary classroom moment, a secondary classroom moment, and the C&I newsletter for information. So, Mr. Cook?
Well, good evening, Chairman Lutz, Board of Ed members, Superintendent Booker. Each one of our board meetings is an exciting time, but certainly the opportunity to highlight great teaching and the instruction that's going on in Gaston County Schools. So tonight, we are privileged and proud to be able to share with you two, one at the elementary that will include our Belmont Central teachers, and I'm going to have Ms. Jody Edwards to come and introduce this excellent team representing all of Gaston County Elementary Schools, and then we'll be followed by Mr. Boone, our Executive Director of High School. He'll come up and share and introduce with you the PLC biology group of teachers at Bessemer City High School who do amazing work and are going to have some great things to share with. So real excited to have them here tonight. So Ms. Edwards, would you come and introduce our Belmont Central folks?
Good evening, Chairman Lutz, school board members, and Superintendent Booker. Are you ready for a treat tonight? We are so excited to have with us some outstanding educators from Belmont Central, and also I have to shout out our very own C&I department as well, Ms. Shannon Hullett. We were able to put together a writer's workshop cohort this year, and we're so excited about what that means for our students and for our teachers. Now, I want you to keep in mind, this is a brand new cohort this year, and we are in September. And we have two teachers that are brave enough to come before you tonight to show you what wonderful things are going on already in their classrooms. We also want to take time to thank Principal Phyllis Whitworth from Belmont Central. Her dedication and her support of her teachers means the world to us, and she is also in the audience tonight. So thank you so much. I know what that means. So who do we have with us tonight? Well, we have Mr. Kyle Wood. Kyle is in his 16th year as an educator in our district. He is a current Pinnacle leader and also a former Pinnacle leader as a technology facilitator. He was the 2013-14 Teacher of the Year at Belmont Central Elementary. He is the product of Bessemer City Schools, woohoo, me too, and Appalachian State. Thank you, Kyle, for being here. We also have Miss Leah Allen. Leah is in her 12th year of teaching for Gaston County Schools. She is a former Pinnacle leader and was Belmont Central's 2014-15 Teacher of the Year. She is also a product of Gaston County Schools, UNCG, and Appalachian State University. And as I've already mentioned, Miss Shannon Hullett, who is our very own ELA curriculum facilitator for our elementary schools. And they are going to share with you tonight Writers Workshop. Mr. Wood.
Good evening, Chairman Lutz, Vice Chairman Ramsey, Board, Mr. Booker. Let me just show you a little bit about what's going on in the class right now. So, as Ms. Edwards said, we're here to talk to you about the Writing Workshop Cohort. And essentially what your investment is, the county investment in the classroom is pretty simple. It's a Lucy Calkins writing units of study set for each teacher, K-6. And if you don't know, the Lucy Calkins writing units of study are kind of the go-to resource for teaching writing in the classroom. Writing Workshop, as it's called, is nothing new, but it's certainly become a greater focus since Common Core began a few years ago. And this resource that we received this year will just make that road to hoe a little bit easier. It also comes along with, this cohort comes along with 4 days of out-of-the-classroom face-to-face training that started with some of the experts from New York that worked with Lucy Calkins and now resides with Mrs. Hullett and Mrs. Brooks, the facilitators. Sandwiched in between the last 2 sessions are 2 webinars, and then following throughout the year will be PLC coaching as needed by Mrs. Hullett and Mrs. Brooks. So, In order to talk about what writing looks like now, we need to talk about what it used to look like, right? So when you and I were in school in the olden days, it looked like this. Your teacher would give you an assignment, they'd give you a writing prompt and say, go, and after about 45 or 50 minutes, you were stressed out, right? And you look like these two guys. And the teacher, ahead of that time, looked like this because they were trying to find the resources to teach this correctly. And again, as the focus renewed with Writing Workshop since Common Core, this is about where what we were facing. So we did have the Lucy Calkins units of study. We had one per grade level, though, in each of our schools. And the results were like this, right? You got your writing back. It was marked all up. It was nice and red, which is known to be an awful angry color, right? And your writing prompt was now dead and gone. It was not a living document that was going to grow and improve, but it was a document that was off to die in the teacher's grade book. And hopefully in your mind, or else that would really depress you. So Mrs. Allen is here to tell you what it looks like now.
Okay, thank you. I'm Leah Allen. Thank you for letting me be here. So now Writer's Workshop is totally different. We were just talking in our PLC last week about how excited we are about teaching writing again and how confident we are thanks to the Lucy Calkins series that we were having to study at night. So thankfully we all have our own copy so that we can study at night. Okay, so Writer's Workshop, it starts with a mini lesson. So the teacher will pull the kids close to them, to him or her, and have one focus for the day. So it may be elaboration, it may be coming up with different topics to write on, it may be grammar, revision, but you will just focus on one thing for the day. You are not focusing on 10 different things to work on in that paper. Okay? The teacher will send those students back to their desk with a focus, and they will write. And they will write for about 20 to 30 minutes, maybe even longer, depending on how long the teacher has allotted. And you can see that these students are writing versus the other picture where they were just looking up not knowing what to do. These students have an idea of what to write, and they are enjoying it because they get to choose their topics. So they get to write about what they want to write about. So it's rigorous because they are writing for a long period of time. And they are enjoying it. My class even said the other day that whenever I said, let's do writing, they said, yes. So they are enjoying it. Okay? This also focuses on individualized instruction. So the teacher doesn't just go back to her desk and sit while the students are up there writing. The teacher is conferencing with these students. She is learning what these students need, and the students are learning from him or her as they're walking around conferencing with these students. So there is individualized instruction with this writing, okay? And this is a little video of one of our teachers. Kids, it might be a little loud, but the students have writing partners where they can talk with each other about their writing. So you can see here these students are actually sharing their writing for the day with their partner, and they're talking about their writing, maybe what they focused on.
I've heard some great things. One of the things that I heard was what did you say? Yeah, you. Shannon said it. What did Shannon say? Shannon said she liked it because everyone had a different part. So our author has written from the different perspectives of each of the characters, right? So we like that. That makes it interesting. Good. Trevor, what did you and your partner talk about? The details. Those details are really important, right? And you think about each of our chapters. Each of the chapters that we read does what? It focuses on one event that happens. So when we read...
Okay, so what she's doing is she has brought the class back from their writing and let them talk about what they focus on. And she listened in on what they were talking about and what they were discussing. And she was pointing out some of those good things that she noticed that they had done.
So what we hope to see as your eternal investment is that you're going to grow writers. With a renewed focus on the correct materials, we should see a growth in their ability to write, and what we hope that would lead to in turn is that they grow as readers and thinkers. We stress in Reading Workshop, its counterpart, that they learn not only to read better, but to think deeper about what they're reading and become part of the world of the book. So if they learn to be a good writer, then they have to pay more attention to what they read, in order to take the tools that they learn from their reading and apply it to their own writing. You've also invested in us, of course, given us training. Thank you for that. And, and in our PLCs. And then Mrs. Hulla is going to come tell you how we're also leveraging Google Classroom to help collect those resources throughout the year.
So just like all educators grow, I am growing. And so one of my professional goals was I've got to embrace technology. We are a Google district, and so we're going to continue learning not just the 5 sessions, but we're going to learn each and every day utilizing Google Classroom. So our teachers are part of a Google Classroom. They are already posting, they're sharing their excitement, they're asking questions, because this is hard work. This is rigor at its best. To be able to write and talk about what's happening in text and then turn around and do it, that's going to take our students to a whole nother level, as well as our teachers. And so this Google Classroom is just this ongoing day-to-day professional learning community that's online. And it's exciting for me. It's exciting, I think, for our teachers because they have a resource at the tip of their fingers, a daily resource. So if I'm stuck, that mini lesson failed, help. And you can go to your colleagues, not just within my school, but across the district. So we are just beginning this journey. We're excited about this journey. The growth that I'm already seeing from our teachers and our students is amazing. And just wait, because there's going to be some amazing things to come with our students and their writing and what they're going to be producing this year. So we just want to say thank you so much for you investing in us.
We are excited about this initiative this year. We know that we've been working with Writers Workshop for the last several years, but now we actually have the tools in our teachers' hands that they can go by, as they mentioned a while ago, to take it home and to study. Because this is hard work. Writing is something that is difficult. And I told them at the training last week, I was definitely that student that dreaded getting that writing paper back, because that was not my strength. And I was that teacher that dreaded teaching writing, because I thought I had to find every mistake that I could find on that paper. And it would take you forever and ever and ever. And then you would give that back to that poor student. Where do they start? And now what they have done is they know what are those essential standards that they need to teach so that we can build that writing. So we have that's grade level, but then we have that individualized instruction through that conferencing, because I may have a writer. I mean, some of you might have been writers as children, and you love to write, and that was one of your strengths. Well, if we have a student like that in our classroom, they can take that student, conference with that student, and just move that student on and on. But then we have those students like Miss Edwards that was struggling with grammar, struggling with spelling, struggling with sentence structure. And that way they can work with that student individually to build their writing skills as well. So this gives them that opportunity. It gives them the time of day to be able to really help our students. Our teachers are also seeing the connection between reading and writing, I think more so through this than they ever have before. And that will only enhance our students' knowledge as we move forward. So it's because of you, once again, that you have supported this, and we do thank you so very much.
Any questions? Yes, Mr. Howell.
Not necessarily a question, but a comment. I was at Belmont Central last Thursday. Miss Whitworth gave me the tour, and I could talk on and on about her, but one of the things I got to do is go around to each grade level and go in a classroom. And I walked into a 4th grade classroom. They were in the middle of writing, and so after a few things, I said, "What are you writing? Somebody read to me what you're writing." And this young lady popped up. She started reading, and I looked at Miss Whitworth, and I looked to see if she was reading a magazine or if she was reading her own writing. She was reading her own, eloquently written about dressing her brother up. Then as we started to depart the classroom, there was a young lady there who was very energetic. That I asked her, would she graduate before she was 12? She said yes, and go to MIT if she wanted to. She would be president if she wanted to. And I said, well, what do you want to do? And she said, I want to publish a book. So whatever you guys are doing, it's contagious within that school, and I hope it is within the county. But Belmont Central is definitely, from what I saw, setting a very high bar for Gaston County.
And that's why they are here tonight.
Yes, Ms. Guthrie.
Certainly, I want to commend the group. Your first manuscript up there with all the red
squigglies and marks. That reminded me of my first manuscript when I got my book back from the editor. But it did help me to become a better writer. But I want to say to you, you are really creating a very strong foundation for literacy at the school. We commend you, Mrs. Whitworth, because in the spring, we were there, we told stories. What a wonderful way to motivate. And I saw the individualized instruction there. I saw the rigor. I saw engagement. And I saw coaching. All of those things wrapped into one. You are producing some very high and I would say exciting students, because the no's didn't bother me because they were engaged, and that's a wonderful thing. They create stronger relationships within their little groups when they have that opportunity. So teachers, thank you very much for what you are doing, and certainly we want literacy to be at the forefront of everything that we do here in the county. Just want to ask, how often do you brainstorm with other teachers in the district at the elementary level to share best practices?
Well, the training provides a lot of that, which is nice. So that's only 4 days, I know, but that's really nice. I'm one that anybody that knows me can tell you I really hate to be out of my classroom because it's not fun doing that stuff. But I enjoy going to the trainings because when we're starting kind of crawling through it together, that's a great time to collaborate and talk about it. We also can collaborate at any time on the Google Classroom, right? So that makes it wide open so that I can do it when I'm, pulling my hair out at my computer at night. I'm already at a computer, so it's perfect that I can just do it on Google Classroom.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I have one more thing to say about that. We're also bringing it back to the schools, so all of us that are in the cohort are training our staff as well on the writing.
Wonderful. Thank you. Awesome.
And one thing that we hope to accomplish, or that we will accomplish through our Google Classroom, is we're looking for those model teachers and those model classrooms, because we have some great videos out there from Lucy Calkins, and that's wonderful, but we know we have master teachers here in Gaston County, and we want a bank of those videos so that they can go in there and say, hey, look at Kyle Wood at 5th grade at Belmont Central. He has this mini lesson mastered. I'm going to partner with him. So we're looking at building capacity throughout our district, not only by providing these few workshops that we have, but providing a coaching model with our teachers in mind, because we have the best of the best right here in Gaston County.
Do you monitor the frequency of log-on teachers from other schools?
We do, actually. Ms. Hullock came to me this afternoon, says, I want you to get on Google Classroom. I want you to look at the support that some teachers are already posting in here. So they're already collaborating, and we're looking at that because our teachers are learners, and they teach us every day as well as teaching their students. So yes, ma'am, we do.
Thank you.
Any other question? Yes, Ms. Cherry.
This isn't a question either, it's a comment. First of all, thank y'all. The things that Dr. Cook's department are doing are phenomenal, and of course, Ms. Guthrie's committee, we've heard about it, but it's nice to hear it on this level. But it starts at the top, but it ends with y'all. If you don't implement it and get on board with it, it doesn't work. And these are the stories that we like to hear, and we know it's going to get bigger and better. And this is what, and I hope y'all don't mind that I'm speaking on behalf of the board. This is what we want. This is what we want. So thank you, and keep up the good work, and can't wait to hear more stories.
I need to mention, too, I didn't even consider it when I was up here. Terry Beltakis was the teacher in the video. She was supposed to be here tonight. She actually had a car accident this morning, and she's totally okay. But that's why she's not here, so I didn't want to take credit for the video. That's her doing. I'm not good on camera, so they played up to that. So it's Terry Beltakis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Lutz, Mr. Booker, members of the board. I'm proud to be here on behalf of our high school classroom instruction moment. And I have 3 outstanding teachers joining me. I'll let them come on up and get started. 3 science teachers from Bessemer City High School. Megan Trimnell. Megan is a 4th-year teacher she graduated from Appalachian State with a degree in psychology and minors in biology and chemistry. She also received her master's in physiology and pharmacology from Wake Forest. Tiffany Fletcher is here with us. She graduated from East Carolina University with a degree in secondary education and a concentration in biology. She's in her 6th year at Bessemer City. Sarah Fink graduated from Belmont Abbey College, and she's in her 4th year. She's also part of our Discovery Education Cohort. So we're proud to have these ladies here tonight to demonstrate what they do in their professional learning community, especially in biology at Bessemer City High School. And what you'll see in a 21st century classroom example is not just about computers and presentation models, but it's also about providing instruction, assessing students, adjusting instruction based on the results of those assessments, and being able to reach students on a wide scope. Differentiation is what we call it. So I think you'll be impressed by their presentation. Ladies, turn it over to you.
I'd like to thank you, Mr. Lutz, Mr. Booker, and the rest of the board for inviting us here tonight to show you what we do. We are very proud of what we do at Bessemer City High School. We do try to model the 21st century classroom, and to do that, the best way to demonstrate is to bring students. So we actually brought some students here tonight, and what we're going to do is show you some screenshots of what we implement in the classroom, and then to show you that it can happen in a normal amount of time, we're going to bring up these students to show you exactly what to do. And I want to go ahead and introduce them because you might see their names along the way. This is China Pollard, Summer Meeks, and Ben Herman, and they are 11th graders at Bessemer City High. So we'll have them up in just a few minutes. We want to get started showing you some of the tools that we use in the classroom every day. And we use these tools to differentiate instruction, to provide interventions and enrichment based on where students are with the concepts, and also to assess quickly. But one of the major things that we do is allow students to take control of their learning. We are building student growth models so that they can monitor their own growth and get personalized feedback for their own assessment. So I'll show you how we do that. One of the things we use every day is Google Classroom, and I made a demo for you guys. We can use this to create assignments, to post assessments, and to generate online discussion. We use a really handy tool called Share to Classroom, where students are able to, I can push them a link, and just, it's like magic right in front of them. They get the assessment that we're on, or the web page that we're on, and we can push it right to them and assess. And the reason this is helpful is that we can perform quick, informal assessments weekly, every couple of days in class, and give very quick feedback to the students. We can also use things like Ed Puzzle. I can post videos and questions. I can say, you missed this many questions on this concept, go watch this video. Or you finished early, go watch this extra video to understand this other concept more. So we can individualize it for student when we have that technology. We also use interactive notebooks. This provides engagement. It provides a chance for personalized creativity in the classroom. And it provides really tactile, sensory kind of things for the students to do during a lecture. And this is a couple of students from my classroom. We also had the opportunity to meet during the summer with teacher leadership teams, curriculum revision teams, and assessment creation teams. We were able to provide all science teachers at the high school and middle school level with pacing calendars, okay? This calendar has student engagement opportunities and resources for every single day of the year. Teachers do not have to go online and find these things. They are here so the teachers can focus on teaching the students and focus on classroom learning. And Ms. Fletcher is going to talk more about the assessment piece.
So as Ms. Trimnell mentioned, this summer we had the opportunity to get together and across the county create assessments. This allows us to get out of that creation mode because we have unit tests and common and formative assessments already made for us. So we're able to pull that information from our website and go about with our learning. Like Ms. Terminal also said, we can send the quizzes out to the students, and they call it magic. It just pops up on their screen, they're able to take it. It takes 15 to 20 minutes for the students to actually be able to take the assessment, and then we can get back to the feedback. As a student or as a teacher, after they take the assessment, we're able to use an add-on in Google called Flubaroo that allows us to, within seconds, grade the assessment. We can provide personalized feedback to the students, which you can see right there. It's kind of hard to see. We don't have an arrow to it. But we can send comments to them, and it goes just to that student. It does not get sent to the class as a whole. And when the student logs into their email, they are given an email that looks just like this with, this is my assessment, but they get red squares and green squares if it's green. They got it correct. If it's red, it's wrong. And then we're also, where the arrow is pointing, able to send them feedback. Since I did poorly on this assessment and I only got 1 out of 8 correct, I need to stay after school for additional tutoring to make sure that I am mastering that particular skill and that goal. And I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Fink to go over our student growth goals.
After the students receive their scores, they get the email that shows them which questions they got correct or incorrect. Every student in our school now has their own student growth chart. This is an example of one that is actually one from Summer. I was going to show you hers in just a few minutes. That has a breakdown of each specific class's standards that match their curriculum, the Common Core Essential Standards. As you can see, this one is set up for biology. There are 4 goals in biology, but we only had enough room to show 3 on here. But each goal is shown on the student growth chart, and the students take their data and enter it themselves. We don't have to do this. If we can assign this on the Google Classroom, it'll make a copy for each individual student. We don't have to take the time to do that. It's putting the responsibility on the students, first of all. The students log in how many questions they were asked for each individual goal and how many did they get correct. So they get, and you can see down here in the black sections, it shows what Summer's original performance was when she took the pretest on the first day of school. She got 17% correct in her goal 1. We didn't test goal 1 in week 2, but we tested again in week 3, and her performance increased. And then her performance increased again at week 4. So she can see from week to week how it changes, how she is growing. She can monitor her own growth in that way. Another thing that's really important that the students take from this is how they can set goals for themselves for the next week. We always want them to improve. Growth is one of our main focuses. We want to make sure that they are tracking their own performance. They can set goals for themselves. Next week will be our week 5, and our students will be taking a common formative assessment for week 5. And based on the information that they see here, they can set a reasonable goal for what they hope to achieve in week 5. This emphasis is on individual growth, personalized for the student. It's also great for the teachers to identify if we have students that are not performing up to a particular growth level that we would like for them to reach. So Google Sheets is like the spreadsheet program for Google. It's really great that we can add personal comments. So you can see Mrs. Trimnell came in on Summer's performance for her week 4, and she said she needs to study her self structures a little bit more. It's just a really simple way that we can offer individual feedback to each student. We don't have to call them out in front of the class, and the students know exactly where they are, what they need to work on. And Ms. Trimnell's even on here assigned an extra intervention assignment for her to make sure that she is performing up to her growth, the expected growth level in that goal. The main goal of this, the whole point we wanted to start using this, that Mr. Montgomery, our principal, wanted us to start using this year, was so that our students are taking responsibility for their own learning, taking all the hard work off of us, putting it on the kids. They are more responsible for their own growth. They are setting their own goals. They are reaching their own goals. And it's more personalized for each student. It's encouraging each one of them to perform at a higher level. And they are.
Okay, we showed you guys a lot of stuff, and it doesn't really look attainable in a short amount of time. So I'm going to bring up some students, and the teachers are going to assist them, but I doubt that they need any assistance. And they are going to bring their computers to you. They have miniature Chromebooks. that were borrowed from the Pinnacle program at our school. And they are going to sign in as they would if they come into my classroom. They're going to sign in to Google Classroom. And today we happen to be taking a mini quiz. Go for it.
Here, take my seat. Good luck.
Okay. So students, if you would please go and, we're going to have another one. Are we logged in? Are we at Google Classroom? Excellent. So go ahead and click on your link to take the quiz. So now, yes, Mr. Dedman, will you please answer the, no, I'm just kidding. Don't answer the first one. So now all the students have their quiz and they can take it depending on how long the quiz is. Say that the kids just submitted it to me. This is what I will see. These are these student submissions. Oh, they're gonna take the quiz.
I know we see your way out.
Okay, I'll go ahead and move forward. You guys do not have to take this test. Although I feel that you guys would do really, really well.
They're Googling.
So we have students that have taken the exam, and we receive their grades very quickly. We can grade the assignment in Flubaroo, and then we'll get their averages. And I can go into each student and I can see which answers they got wrong. If they got a 0 for that question, they got those wrong. And I can go and tell China that she needs to study her mitosis and meiosis. And Ben did an excellent job because he made 100. And Summer needed a little extra help in her energy. I can go and give that straight back to the students. And I can email it to them. So why don't you guys pull up your emails? And I do not have the emails because these are all personalized per student. So they get, and then they can see which ones they got correct out of 8. There were 2 questions for each goal. And lastly, yes, Ms. Cherry, if I could just pull up this. Yes, go ahead.
Do you have a Chromebook for every student that is in y'all's classrooms?
Yes, we do.
Yes,
Okay.
we are very fortunate to have almost a one-on-one at Bessemer City with Chromebooks in the classroom. But most of us at Bessemer City have class sets that we keep in our classrooms all day long.
Good.
If we don't have it, then we can share, we have a cart that we share between 2, at most 3 teachers. So they just won't assess on the same day. This is a very quick assessment and we could give this daily, but we strive for weekly to cover all these concepts after we teach them.
And then how many classes a day do each of y'all teach using this model?
Every classroom in the building uses this model.
All 3 of my classrooms use this model.
I personally would use this setup at least once a week. I'm about 2 to 3 times a week. But every classroom is at least once a week.
Okay.
We went to teachers and asked what would increase our growth in our classrooms. And the individual teachers that had increased growth did informal, quick assessments daily, if not a couple times a week, so that students knew where they stood and that they could take charge of it. If you look, they each have their own student growth chart. They can see, now these are mock. These students are out of biology and performed excellent. But students in our classrooms, any one of us could show you 50 of these from our students.
So there are some teachers that use this process daily? In the
There are
classroom?
some teachers in Gaston County that assess daily, yes.
This is a very small portion of classroom time. Like you can see our students pulled this up within a minute. So we can assess in a very short time period. We have 90-minute class blocks. We can do assessments in 15, 20 minutes and move on to instruction and differentiation.
Okay.
I like the way you analyze data. I think that's wonderful to be able to offer every student the opportunity to learn. If there are weak areas, then you have the data there to provide the resources to enhance learning. That's just wonderful.
Yes.
Raise my hand, so I'm in trouble. Are you able, for parents that are engaged in their students' education, are you able to capture those, screenshot it, share it with the parents, especially the goals? So you say, look, your child, we're trying to help, but they're not putting the effort. Are you able to capture that and share it with the parent yet, or?
I have not done that yet.
That's a really good idea.
Now, parents do usually have access to their students' Google Classroom through their logins. But that is an excellent point. I know parent-teacher conferences are right around the corner. And now that we have the first CFA coming under our belts this week, that would be a great opportunity to do that.
Is this used in all levels of your biology? Okay.
Yes,
absolutely.
yes, all levels of biology.
Okay.
She uses in earth
Standard
science. I use it in
honors.
physical science, anatomy,
Forensics.
We use it in everything.
Yes.
Mr. Boone, what role will Compass Learning play in this?
Compass, Canvas is what the high school will be using. Canvas is a learning management system that we're just now receiving training on, but it will integrate with SchoolNet and PowerSchool. Now, we're still waiting to see exactly what will happen with our Google Classroom. Google Classroom is working very well, but we're excited to see what Canvas will bring us.
Because parents will be able to see some growth that their children are making, right? Am I right with that?
Correct, yes.
I thought
And
so.
I think that's kind of a basic element of all of the platforms as they're coming out. So there's everybody's got to get to that competitive level. So if one is providing that, then they're all going to provide that.
Thank you.
Any other comments? We do thank you for coming. I have one quick question. Mr. Bloom, did you say we were doing this in middle school and high school? Or we got something similar?
Google Classroom is being used in middle and high school, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
My own daughter experienced Google Classroom in her middle school time.
Okay.
So, yes, it's what I would say in closing out is that 21st century classrooms are great, but 21st century learners have to have 21st century classrooms to be successful.
Yes.
And this quick, very frequent feedback is what our young people are used to. You know, when they do research, when we did research, it took us days and days and days to do research. The technology is just better. And it's not just about computers. It's not just about presentation. It's about all of it, including being able to teach to all the different levels for the students to be able to gain what the teachers are trying to teach. So.
Now, we use Canvas Learning, and we post our long-range plans. Is that something that teachers are going to be doing as well?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I would say this: these teachers are, very, very successful, very, very bright, very talented people. They also have a very supportive administrative staff. Mr. Montgomery is here, along with one of his assistant principals, Ms. LaFever. So they're very supportive, and I think probably at all of your professional learning community meetings, not so much just as to monitor, but to learn themselves. So,
Mr. Howe? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
May I say one more thing? I was very proud of Bessemer City last September when you presented to the school board. It was a regional presentation, I think, at, what's the name of the school? Stuart Kramer. I was very proud of what you young people did there, and I think you deserve a round of applause.
Mr. Howell?
In a conversation with Summer here, she said that one of the things that we presented to the county commissioner task force was $1.1 million for Chromebook carts. And she said although Bessemer City has a Chromebook almost 1-to-1, she's aware that many high schools don't. And so that if any of those people on the task force are listening, that this would be ideal for raising the bar in Gaston County, and she highly recommends that they approve that.
Wonderful plug.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Boone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cook.
Y'all stand up there.
Yeah, and all the students.
I think we could end our board meeting now and just know what a great time that it is in Gaston County Schools with the teaching and learning. What you see in this group tonight is teachers who are learning more about their craft. You see them collaborating. You see them using and infusing technology. You see them talking and very data-driven. What a great opportunity and what wonderful examples they are in presenting what excellence is in Gaston County Schools. So please join me once again in giving them a big round of thank you. And certainly we would not want to Ms. Mims, who is our science curriculum facilitator for the high school, who supports them, and the administrators as well. So don't want them to go unnoticed because we've got a lot of folks who support our teachers, and so we thank you. It leads right into our final presentation for this evening, and Dr. Bullock, come on up and you can get us started here. As you've heard in these two presentations, we have a lot going on in the area of curriculum instruction with our teachers, and one of the things that we wanted to do for the past year is to develop a newsletter where our administrators could come together, look at a resource that had a lot of information in it at one time, and to share that information with anyone that they felt like was appropriate. So they may have some teachers that they wanted to share with. It's due dates, events, responsibilities, and instruction. And our administrators are tasked with learning and keeping abreast of a lot of different things that are going on within the state of North Carolina and also Gaston County Schools. And so we developed our CNI newsletter. We sent out the first issue last month, the 20th, and we presented that in committee, and Ms. Guthrie thought that it would be a good idea for you to hear and see a little bit of the example, and then each month we'll also be sharing this resource with you too, so you can see what our administrators are getting and tying that into the classroom and how we're aligning all those things together. So Dr. Bullitt has spearheaded and authored our first newsletter and continues, so I'll let her kind of take us through a quick walk of that.
Thank you, sir. I don't think that's totally truthful. This was Dr. Cook's brainchild, and I just kind of put feet on it, I think. It's really a collaborative effort from all of the people in our department working together. I just kind of compile it onto this format. What we have is a one-stop shopping place for all curricular kind of information. We want this to be able for our administrators to share with teachers because we house a lot of good information here, very focused on curriculum and instruction. We have our professional development calendar, so any of the offerings that we have, this is linked right here to the professional development calendar. I can click on this real quickly and show you. Everything that we have is on this calendar so that our administrators, our teachers can go to this and look and see what is offered. And if you will, just to brag just a little bit, this is September's calendar. I know it's very hard to read, but every little line on there is an offering, and that's October and November. So going on throughout the rest of the year, we have offerings. December's a little light, but we have offerings throughout the rest of the year that's already up there and already posted for our teachers and for our administrators, so they know what's going on as far as professional development offerings. We also have links for our administrators and for our teachers on things that we are working on in curriculum. So for instance, in K-8 literacy, here's Reader's Workshop. You've heard a little bit about that tonight. But just to show you what they have available at their fingertips, this is breaking down that Reader's Workshop. There's our mini lesson, the guided independent practice. This is all kind of tips for our teachers and for our administrators. But what I really wanted to show you under this link is down here you have under reading conferences, we have linked videos. And Jody kind of spoke to this tonight, but we hope to have these linked videos to be of our teachers eventually. So this is a video that teachers can watch, administrators can watch to help them know what this actual portion looks like when they're actually teaching. So just one more thing that we have to offer there. If you look on down, we have literacy links, we have math links, broken down K-5, 6, 8, sometimes they're 6, 12, depending on just what the audience is. We have science and social studies. We've brought in our newspapers and education that we work with the Gaston Gazette. And then we have a principal's place. This is for our administrators to know what's coming, what's on the horizon, due dates, those kinds of things. K-5 resources, classroom walkthrough, instrument, lots of anything that could pertain to them that could be on topic for the month or the upcoming month. We do also have department updates. Each department just kind of gives a little blurb of what's going on or a link to their professional development offerings for the upcoming month. And our goal is to produce this towards the end of the month for the next month so that they see that hard and fast of what's coming up for the next month. Now, this is, again, our first one, so we are hoping that it gets better as it goes along, but this was our first attempt. One other thing that I wanted to go back, and I can hear Ms. Edwards' voice in my head. These right here under K-5 literacy, this is a one place to go with every bit of information that an administrator would need. And let me just click on this real quick so that you can see. This could be every bit of information that administrator would need based on the topic of M-Class. So they can go to this one spot. You can see due dates. You can see just tips or information, updates, those kinds of things. So we hope for this to be very curricular focused and something that we can share, our administrators can share with our teachers and to help them be able to go somewhere, one space, one place that they can look for upcoming events. Questions?
Thank you. Questions, comments? I think, Mr. Cook or Dr. Cook, I would like to say your department is building very rapidly on technology. And all I can say is the maintenance department should never let the technology, or the IT should never let the technology go down, because we've got a lot going on. And it's great to see these quick things that you are putting on the website. It's kind of like the assessments that the children are getting. The teachers can hit one website and they can hit it hard and fast and get what they need. And it's very impressive.
Thank you. A lot of people working on it together, and certainly not all inclusive, but we're working so our administrators have one place that they can look for some of these curriculum issues that they deal with daily. So that's the intent of it, but thank you.
We do thank you very much. Mr. Upchurch?
Just a comment on all the years that I've been on the board and have been worked with curriculum and over the years, this is the best I've seen out there, and I appreciate your ability to let these folks, and I know you have some hard-working folks out there, let them do their job. And I love to see that you've included the administration of each school, that newsletter going out to them. Sometimes I'm not sure if there was a disconnect or whatever out there, or just not enough information going, and bringing it back to the board. That I really appreciate, because I really didn't know what some of these people did, or you knew what they did, but you didn't see what all they were doing out there. And now I'm seeing that, and it's a wonderful job that you're doing, and I thank you very much. it's
about the team. Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Guthrie.
I tried not to say anything, but I must. I made a note while Dr. Butler was presenting. She was chuckling. And it seems as if you're enjoying so much what you're doing, how you're doing it. And it shows when you are presenting that. And I can say that as we work on the C&I committee, that it's a very transparent group. And we appreciate the leadership that we have provided by Dr. Cook, and we too are enjoying what we do. You're motivating us when you share with us in our meetings what you are doing, how you are doing it, and to whom you're trying to reach. You're motivated and getting us excited about what's happening in education here in Gaston County. So again, thank you.
Any other comments? Thank you, Dr. Cook.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the budget update, and I'll ask Mr. Hoskins to step forward.
Good evening, Chairman Lutz, Vice Chairman Ramsey, members of the board, Superintendent Booker. I'm here hopefully for my last budget update for this year. I hope to actually have a budget next time I come here. A lot has happened since we talked a couple weeks ago with the calendar. On September 16th, the Senate actually approved the state budget, which was followed by the approval on September 18th by the North Carolina House and the signing of the budget by the governor. So it is now in law, and we spent about an hour and a half, I guess, on a conference call with DPI, Superintendent Booker, I think Sonia was on there, our budget team, listening to them and listening to questions from other LEAs about the budget. And the budget is about 432 pages. Now, about 50 or 60 of that directly impacts education, but there's other parts of it that may or may not impact education. So DPI is going through that. They have 10 days in order to take that budget, which the whole budget is $21.7 billion. Our portion, or the public education portion, is about $8.3 billion. So DPI is taking that $8.3 billion and trying to read through the 429 pages and decipher how they're supposed to segregate those funds among the 115 LEAs. So a couple things that we do know about the budget. First of all, it is a biennial budget, so it is for this year as well as the next fiscal year. Now, there are some differences between the two fiscal years, but we'll focus our discussion on just what the impact is going to be this year. A lot of things we already knew about and we've talked about in the past. The biggest thing is that they did approve increasing beginning teacher salaries from $33,000 to $35,000 a year, and that is teachers with 0 to 4 years of experience. They also provided a $750 one-time bonus to state employees. They provided step increases for both teachers and administrators. And they also funded anticipated growth in our ADM, which is the student growth. One of the big issues in this budget is the funding for teachers' assistants. As you may or may not recall, the House wanted to fully fund our teacher assistants to what they were funded at last year. The Senate did not want to do that, so they compromised in that they did fully fund it, but they took away flexibility from that particular funding source. Now, we have multiple funding sources with the state. Some of those funding sources has flexibility, some has other restrictions on it. They've essentially restricted these funds. So we're going to just, what we've done in the past is fund our TAs sort of by department. So now we're going to start funding our TAs by job function. And what that means is to the schools, absolutely nothing. They're not going to know who's funded, how they're funded. It's going to be all back office, and we're going to make it as transparent and painless to the schools as possible. They also did maintain funding for driver's education. It's fully funded through general funds this year, and it's funded through I think civil fines and forfeitures in the following year. They increased our textbook funding, I think $21 million this year and maybe $30 million the following year. They expanded our funding for Read to Achieve. As you recall, we actually did first grade and second grade Read to Achieve. The state funded the third grade, so now they're going to fund all three in the upcoming summer. So that's great news for us. And they did reduce our transportation funds due to lower fuel prices. That should be a wash. We got some benefit last year because fuel prices dropped during the year. That benefit will go away in the coming year. So with that, we hope to have, when we come, I think October, the next work session, 4th or 7th or whenever that is, we hope to be able to present the budget resolution, have the information from DPI, and have that for you. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Hoskins. Anyone have any questions for Mr. Hoskins? Mr. Howell?
And this may be for maybe for either one of y'all, maybe for Dr. Mattson. Because there's no flexibility in the TA and they've provided the TA funding at where it was, does that mean we're going to see a TA increase within our schools? Because I know last thing I read was the TAs were based per grade, so many per grade, so many per couple classrooms, provided that the classrooms had a certain size to them, that sort of thing. So will we see an increase in teachers' assistants now that that funding's been set, or will that level stay the same?
Well, initially, as Mr. Hoskins was talking about, we had teacher assistants that were funded in other line items. So to meet the requirement of this, we will consolidate those accounts into this funding, and then we'll reconcile and see where we are in the gap that may create. We don't anticipate a huge, but what we will guarantee, and I want to commend this board, through all this negotiations, we were able to tell our teacher assistants, you will be employed after the budget. And I was in a classroom today in an elementary school, and one of the teacher assistants sought me out to say, thank you for that. While I was reading this and this in the paper, I never had to be concerned. And so we'll continue with that same fiduciary responsibility as we reconcile this. And so we'll bring you a number back. It is a challenge because we, in 2010, during the budget reductions, we were given flexibility to move money around. And we utilized that flexibility to fund some 50 teaching positions with teacher assistant dollars. And so we'll have to adjust for that. But let me say loud and clear, we're not eliminating 50 teaching positions. We will continue with all of our staff that we have today, and we will look, as you've just pointed out, if there's an opportunity to expand that, we will continue that. We've done several things through the downturn. We've shortened the length of days that teacher assistants are employed. We haven't done any significant increase to their pay scale. So there are a lot of things we can look at now that we have a more stable funding source.
Any other questions? Well, Mr. Hoskins, we've enjoyed our time again.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the Curriculum and Instruction Committee report, and I think that will come from Ms. Cherry.
Thank you, Mr. Lutz. The Curriculum and Instruction Committee met on September 14th, and those in attendance were our Chair, Dr. Guthrie, Catherine Roberts, myself, Jeff Ramsey, Dr. Cook, Jackie Yarborough, and Dr. Cook's committee consisted of, or his staff, I should say, consisted of Brent Boone, Glennis Brooks, Jody Edwards, and Shelley Bullard. We talked about or had demonstrations or discussions about several items. One was our STEAM update, and we received materials related to the effective science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, or STEAM programs for review, and we considered a draft timeline for review in curriculum. We received materials and other resources for consideration and generated questions to be answered for future meetings. Future steps will include committee members visiting various STEAM/STEM programs in schools, and that will be reported back to us. We were also updated on the One District, One Book program that's coming up. A timeline and action item for One District, One Book was considered, which included a book preview committee that will include parents to assist with the book selections. Ideas for advertisements and ways to involve the community in this literacy initiative were also discussed. A lot was discussed about professional development at our meeting. We're very excited about that. We've already taken a lot of time in the short time that our schools have been open this year, and much will be done before the end of school. Principals have been receiving training related to the best practices in literacy and math, along with training in the use of data related to student achievement in our K-12 programs. Updates were provided to the committee regarding the recent Compass training for K-8 administrators. Monthly training is taking place for middle school math teachers, and the Reader-Writer Workshop, which we had a presentation tonight, training that was conducted recently for various grade levels by a teacher college. Learning labs for elementary science and social studies were also highlighted. And we just had a presentation about our curriculum and instruction newsletter, which is a phenomenal tool for all of our teachers, administrators, principals, and also for our curriculum committee. Great collaboration. It's something that I've already referred to, especially the calendar. So looking forward to seeing that. I know that took a lot of work, and we were very excited to see that. That was kind of a surprise for our committee. Finally, the committee reviewed dates for parent workshops, parent conferences, and report card distribution. So as you can see, this committee works very hard, and it's all because of the wonderful staff that we have. And as Ms. Guthrie alluded to earlier, it is exciting to go to this committee meeting and see all the great things that are happening within curriculum and instruction. So thank you, Ms. Guthrie.
Thank you, Ms. Cherry. Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Cherry or Ms. Guthrie? All right. We'll move on to the next committee report, which will be the Operations Committee, and that will be Kevin Collier.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our Operations Committee will meet next Monday, September the 28th at 4:30 here in the boardroom. I'd like to point out that our committee includes myself, Mr. Dedman, Mr. Howell, and Mr. Upchurch. At this time, our current agenda will include the following items. Number 1, new school construction updates. Number 2, progress on identified facility repairs. And number 3, estimates on citizen-requested athletic facility improvements at Hunter Huss. And that's all for my report, Mr. Chair.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Collier. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Collier? All right. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. I think everyone's had that a few days to where they can look at it. Is there any questions? I will need that in the form of a motion. This is an action item. Mr. Ramsey?
Make a motion, we approve consent agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Ramsey. Mr. Ramsey has made a motion to the consent agenda. I have a second from Ms. Cherry. Any discussion on the consent agenda? Seeing no discussion on the consent agenda, all in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you very much. Mr. Booker, Superintendent Comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the board, would like to just stop and say thank you for a moment. We've been in school for right at 20 days now, and it's a big, in our world, the 20th day count is a big, important one that we balance a lot of things against. But another number I'd like to think is 8,500. 8,500. That's the number of items that were donated in school supplies to our students this year. And so businesses, communities, various just organizations have stepped up to support our students. And it's just neat that our community will say, I've got mine, but I also want to share with others. And so, again, 8,580 items. I'd like to also thank all of our staff out there. We have had a great opening of schools. We've had our opportunities, little bumps and bruises along, but overall it has been a great opening of schools with extracurricular activities in full swing, and just as we engage in our classrooms and walk around, what you saw tonight is just a sample of what's going on in 2,000 classrooms in our county. So it's exciting to be a part of that. Also, last week, we partnered with our local law enforcement agencies and the Governor's Highway Safety Program was brought here to Gaston County. And it was neat. At first, I got a little nervous. When you pull up to a park and there's 60 police cars, you go, uh-oh, was this a setup? But it was not, in that it was just trying to talk about child safety and using those right child restraint systems in your car and being aware of it. And so we partnered, and Woodhill Elementary, Belmont Middle, and Cherryville High all hosted activities, and we were just pleased to be a part of this program. And it just is another way of partnering that goes on in our community every day. Also want to take a moment to congratulate Ms. Guthrie. We learned that she has been appointed to the Publications Committee of the Coretta Scott King Book Award Committee for 2 years. This is in addition to already serving as the co-chair of the National Conference in 2017. So thank you for continuing your leadership on and that is, national leadership, so it's great to have that as an asset for us. Also, Mr. Ramsey was recognized recently in the Guide to Belmont Mount Holly Chamber for his role that he's had in the town of Cramerton, where he was raised. And then you as a board and our whole organization is being recognized in a Salute to Business and Manufacturing by the Gaston Regional Chamber on October 15th. Gaston County Schools will receive the Spirit of the Economy Award. And that's really a recognition of all that you do in your leadership in this community related to the economy and our partnership with our businesses. And that would be my report tonight, Mr. Chairman. I would ask, please, for a closed session.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Booker. I would like to make one comment before we go into closed session or entertain a motion. The board would like to wish Mr. Dedman a belated birthday. His birthday was on September the 14th. So I hope you had a nice birthday. All right, I will entertain a motion for a closed session. Yes, Mr. Collier.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session under North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11, paragraph A6 for personnel.
Thank you, Mr. Collier. I have a motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Ramsey has seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? And that is unanimous. We'll be going into closed session.
adjourn.
Second.
Mr. Devon has spoken and made the second motion, for a second for that motion. Any discussion? All in favor? Is unanimous. We're adjourned.